Welcome back. And just before we go into the global oil market, we'd like to get Bukola Shomolo's perspective on the ranking by World Bank, which says that Nigeria moved to 131 out of 190 countries in the ease of doing business. Well, Bukola Shomolo is a legal practitioner and business developer. Hello, good to have you join us virtually.
Thank you. Good to have to be on here with you again.
All right. We're looking at this latest ranking, which says that Nigeria ranks 131 among 190 economies, and that's in the ease of doing business. This is according to the latest ranking from World Bank. Now, Nigeria improved from 131 in 2019, from 146 in 2018 to 131 in 2019. Now, we would like to get your perspective. Do you think this is a true reflection of the business environment in the country?
To be honest, it is. It is. Clearly, as in all cases, it always could be better, but that's the current reflection of what we have. If you understand that the Presidential Enabling Business Ease of Business Committee is saddled with this responsibility, and they are doing their utmost best to make sure that we improve in rankings. So moving from 145 to 131 it's quite a significant leap forward, if you ask me. But then again, it's still reflective of the challenges that we still have with ease of doing business in Nigeria as it is today.
All right, now you're a business person. Tell us what these challenges are.
Okay, so the ease of this, the PEBEC, the one that the vice president is heading, is overseeing. So they're saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that certain ministries, departments, and agencies that interface directly with the public and the private sector, are able to remove the bureaucratic bottlenecks, within the system. So, for example, you have the Ministry of Interior, you talk about customs, you talk about immigration, you have the Ministry of Trade, you talk about the Federal Consumer Protection Commission, you talk about Ministry of Finance, you talk about the Central Bank, you talk about all these ministries, departments, and agencies. So what they're supposed to do, you talk about the Corporate Affairs Commission. So let's take Corporate Affairs Commission, for instance. When they first started online during the time of Dr. Ndudi Ukereke, very noble ideal to go online to ease the ease of registration. It was frustrated, but then coming again recently, they've revamped the entire system, and it's working very, very well. I will give it easily 80% score for the CSE, easily. You see, because the 20%, there will always be issues here and there, and they're trying to address them as we move along. And for instance, if you register a business within 24 hours or at most 48 hours, you have your business name cleared to go. As if it is good to go, or if it's not good to go, within 24, 48 hours, it's cleared. So you know which direction you are going. And within another 48 to 72 hours, your business is registered. So they are improving. They're improving, and they are doing very, very well. But for some other departments, like the immigration, like custom, there are still serious challenges there. You want to right now for the immigration, you can now do your process your passport without third-party interference online, but it's not working on ground. So in one regard, they're doing very well. In other regards, they are not doing as much as they should or they can possibly do.
All right, now you've talked about the ministries, departments, and agencies. I mean, there are those who are talking about other issues such as maybe the infrastructure, and that talks about energy, that talks about running costs, and some other things that you find in the transportation and all of that. And not only that, some persons are also talking about insecurity. There are so many things that people have mentioned. I'd like to hear your perspective on that. Is it that isn't a challenge for you, or you think, well, we're doing well on that front?
Well, so when we talk about ease of doing business, there's a lot of factors you have to consider. So there are factors that are public sector based. There are also factors that are private sector based. There are factors that are federal government based. There are factors that are state government based, and there are factors that are local government based. So you put all these things together are what makes business either easy or difficult to do. Okay, so you talk about the global energy crisis. Price of crude oil has,
Hello, can you hear me?
you find that recently we've had this issue in the last couple of days where people are selling fuel not at 165 naira but at 180. In fact, day before yesterday, in my presence, the pump price was changed from 165 naira to 180 naira. But as of this morning, when I went to go and buy, it was priced at 165 naira. So these things, they are issues. The price of diesel has gone north; it's gone crazy. The price of kerosene, the same thing. So these things affect the ease of doing business. In the last couple of weeks, we also had issues with electricity, national grid down. A lot of things happening, a lot of sabotage along the way. So it's making it difficult. I mean, I know people who, had to shut down their diesel system and go and move from diesel to petrol. And that's dangerous. In an office, moving from diesel to petrol is dangerous. Diesel powered generators to petrol powered generators is dangerous. So all these things complicate the ease of doing business. Yeah, and then you talk about taxes, you still talk about multiple taxation from the federal to the state to local government, and then within the state, it's tough recently. It's tough recently, I must say. Business is tough recently.
All right, you talked about multiple taxation. I would like you to talk about that because even recently, Bakers Association are also talking about the fact that we're in a situation where so many things are really happening. Earnings are eroding as a result of inflation and the high cost of production and all of that. And they are saying that shouldn't something be done to alleviate, what people are going through now? If we have multiple taxation and then we're at a time where earnings are eroding, shouldn't the government be considering something, some sort of maybe social instrument to ensure that businesses thrive in this period?
From the point of view of policy and law, the national tax policy is there. I think it was inaugurated in 2020 or thereabout. It seeks to streamline taxation. So, for example, for the states and the local government.
But I guess we're having a connection issue right there. Well, he was talking about the ease of doing business, especially as it relates to multiple taxation. And he was trying to explain what the government has done in that area, talking about streamlining the process so that, at the end of the day, maybe, just maybe, businesses will be better for it. If you can hear me, please go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah. So in terms of the state, at the state and local government level, there's need to actually streamline and harmonize taxes that are collected from the private sector. There's so I was having a conversation with someone. I said, like, I'm going to suggest, is there a way, for instance, for the small and medium scale and small and medium scale enterprises, the hurdle, the barrier to entry into business is tough. So and I think that government needs to have a rethink in that sector because this is where majority of Nigerians are self-employed, or at least employing one or two people, and things are tough. The purchasing power parity for each Nigerian as we stand today is seriously eroded. What you could afford even in January, you may not even be able to afford now as we speak. So there's need to harmonize the taxes collected and need to harmonize the entry. The barriers to entry have to be removed as much as possible.
You want to set up, barriers? Can you talk about them?
So I give an example. You have someone who is able to make ogi, pap, corn flour, porridge, if I'm, just to make sense out of it. And she has only, so much money to buy half a bag of corn, half a bag of millet, and have, and all of these things. And she wants to register her business. She wants to improve. She wants to improve on the scale of her business. She goes to NAFDAC. NAFDAC has its scale of fees. Okay, this lady will not ever be able to afford the scale of fees of NAFDAC, not to talk of the rigor of the environment where she'll be required to produce this OGI. So those the entry barriers for this micro, small, and medium scale should be reviewed and lowered, and possibly as much as possible removed, to encourage the micro, small, and medium enterprises to grow, because this is what is going to be part of what will revamp the economy. It's not just only giving 5,000 naira per month to the less privileged and those who are not working. But if you allow the micro, small, and medium scale enterprises to come into business with all these barriers lower, they will be able to grow the economy. They'll be able to employ more people, and of course, when you employ one person, you're already taking care of almost 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 people. So if these barriers are reviewed and removed, you will help the micro, small, and medium scale enterprises to scale up.
All right, Bukola, let me come in here. Talking about the barriers, you talked about NAFDAC, for example. Now, I would say NAFDAC, that's laudable. We're looking at quality there. So if we lower these barriers you're talking about, what happens to quality control? What happens to, some of these checks that are really important at the end of the day?
Yeah, I agree with you. I just give you an example.
Okay,
so you will go to the market and you will go and buy your OGI. The OGI you.
All right, Bukola Shomolu, he is a legal practitioner and business developer. He's been speaking to us from the perspective of a business owner on the ease of doing business in Nigeria. And I think he's been saying a whole lot. And can you hear me now? I guess he's back now. Bukola, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please go ahead. All right, talking about the barriers, he gave us an example, and I'm quite, I really would like to have his response to that particular question, talking about ensuring that quality is still in place. We're not giving that away on the altar of ensuring that the barriers are all removed. All right, please go ahead if you can hear me.
Yeah, the barriers I'm talking about are not there. Okay, so the quality of your product must be the quality of your product.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, they must be given some leeway to be able to improve. For example, they are using small machines to produce. They must be given the opportunity to grow into big machines by looking at the small machines they are using and maybe certifying them and say, okay, at this scale you can use this. You cannot expect somebody who produces corn flour in a factory, in a multi-million, multi-billion naira factory, to someone who is producing OGI in her backyard. You cannot expect that kind of person to have the kind of scale that somebody who has a multi-million naira factory will have, or the kind of equipment that kind of person will have. So at that level, certify what they will use. This enables them to be able to produce at their own level and then scale up. So those are the kind of barriers we're asking them to remove. We're not saying impair quality. No. We're not saying impair quality. We are saying give these people the opportunity to scale up, and then, of course, quality, then it begins to improve. That is the kind of thing that we're talking about. We're not saying, for instance, if you are, no poor person imports drugs. So we know that if you're going to import drugs and you're importing at scale, then you must import, quality drugs. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about the people at the lower round of the business ladder, the micro, small, and medium enterprises. People who don't have so much fund, they don't have the millions to be able to scale up their businesses. They only have a few thousands, tens of thousands, a few hundreds of thousands, but you can help them to grow big. And this is this is the beauty of what the ease of doing business is all about. Enabling those at the lower round of the business scale, the micro, small, and medium enterprises to be able to scale up, because this is what impacts on the economy. This is what helps to drive employment. This is what helps to drive production. This is what helps to drive the gross domestic product. Not only those businesses that make the millions, who are working in the millions that we're talking about.
All right,
those are
thank
few.
you. Thank you for your thoughts, Bukola. And very quickly, in 1 minute, I'd like you to talk about this. You were talking about scaling up. What's the role of the Bank of Industry here? How helpful has it been?
I don't have the statistics on the Bank of Industry, but from my little knowledge of the Bank of Industry, I think they have helped businesses over the years to be able to grow. I think recently also they did something with the Afrexim Bank and helping to improve on the availability of funding to be able to help enterprises to scale. So from that perspective, I think they are doing a bit, but I think they could do more. They could do more. A lot of awareness for people at the lower rung, because Bank of Industry is industry, whether it's at the micro level or at the medium, or large level. Industry is industry. So they must be able to help all strata of industry, everyone at each level of industry, to be able to scale up. So I think they must also see how they can do this, especially working with the SMEDA, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development
All right, thank you so much,
Partnership,
Bukola
within all these
Shomolu.
agents.
Thank you, Bukola Shomolu, for your thoughts on the show. We've been speaking with him. He's a legal practitioner and business developer. And well, still to come after the break, we'll bring you the Global Oil Report. Stay with us.